So here's the diagram that we're going to be involved with today. Now the one in fuchsia here is the 5th round of clue number 3. So it's already been done, so I've highlighted that, so you don't need to do that. So we only have 3 rounds to go. We're going to work in a continuous circle on the right side of the project, and we're going to start off just slightly over to the side. So in the very end of number 5 we had 3 single crochets right into the corner. So we're going to move over to 1 over and then chain up 4, which counts as a double crochet, and chain 1, and then we're just going to skip 1, double crochet in the next, chain 1, skip 1, double crochet in the next, and we're going to do that all the way around. So what we have to pay attention to is the middle one of the 3 in the corner will all be the same in each corner. It will be double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, all into the same one, which is the middle. We're then going to continue along and do the rest here, and we're going to move on to number 2, and then finally we're going to do some front post double crochet as we finish this off to give this a really beautiful look at the end. So let's start round number 1 together. So I'm going to be looking to the corner. This here that I'm looking at right here is the right side of the project. So this here that you see here is the wrong side. So just remember that. So it's flipped up, so therefore I can move in that direction. So in the very corners there was 3 double crochet or 3 single crochets. So I have to move over to 1 that is just not in that 3. Okay, and that's where we're going to start today. So I'm going to create a slip knot just to begin. And I want to pull that through just like that, and I want to slip stitch it to join it just like that, and I'm going to chain 4. So 1, 2, 3, there's your double crochet, and the 4th is a chain 1 space. So what I have to do is that I have to come along and I have to skip 1 and a double crochet into the next one. So I'm just gonna put that straggler down on top so that it hides it underneath. You can use a sewing needle. I probably actually recommend it because there is a lot of space there. So I'm gonna pull that back out, just a preference, chain 1, and then I'm gonna skip 1 and double crochet in the next. Then I'm gonna chain 1 and then skip 1, double crochet the next. I want you to do this all the way until you hit the next corner, and I'll meet you there in just a moment. I'll show you how to operate the corners on this one. So now I'm about to hit the middle one of the 3, and I'm keeping in balance. I'm chaining 1, skipping 1, and I end up in the middle. So it's good. So I'm going to double crochet, and then I'm going to chain 1, go back into the same one for another double crochet, chain 1, go back into the same one again for another double crochet. That's it. And then chain 1, and then skip 1, and then start down the next side. So that's how you do a corner. Just really quite easy. So 3 of them will be all into one as you turn around the corner. So as you come all the way to the final corner, you're gonna chain 1, skip 1, and then go to the middle one of the 3, and you're gonna place a double crochet followed by chain 1, double crochet back into the same one again, chain 1, and double crochet a 3rd time back in the same one. Once you have that complete, you've gone all the way around. So I want you to slip stitch to the 3rd one up. So 1, 2, and 3. If you go to the 4th when you started, then what's gonna happen is you're gonna miss out and not get that chain 1 gap that you need. So you're gonna fasten off at this point. So you're gonna slip stitch and then fasten off and then weave in your ends, and then we're gonna carry on with round number 2. So let's move along to round number 2. So we fastened off at the 3rd one up, and we're right here, and we're gonna fasten on a new color right on that same spot, and we're gonna chain up 3, which counts as a double crochet, and then we're going to double crochet into the same one. We are not gonna chain 1 or anything like that, but we're gonna put 2 double crochets into each one of the double crochets that are going each all the way around except for the corner. So the corner, the middle one, okay, so you see that there's 2 in this one, and then here's the middle one, and here's the other one that's part of the same corner. And what we have to do is that we have to put a total of 6 double crochets all into that one. So it's a lot going in on that, but it makes sense because on the final round, as you can see, there's no increasing at all. We're just gonna follow it all the way around. So let's begin round number 2. So again, as I mentioned, we're working on the right side completely with this one as we go all the way around. I'm gonna create a slip knot to begin. And what I need to do is that I need to fasten on to the one right after the corner. So this is the corner. You can see 3. So I want to fasten in at the top of this one here. Okay, so just join it with a slip stitch and chain 3. So 1, 2, 3, that counts as a double crochet. Into the exact same space I want you to place another double crochet in. So we're just gonna move along the edge. So we're gonna come and do this corner at the end. So we're just gonna move along the edge, and just every double crochet is gonna have 2 double crochets this time. Okay, so there's chain 1 spaces that separate them. Don't worry about those chain 1 spaces, just play within the double crochet. So just put 2 into each one, and I'll meet you at the first corner, and I'll show you how to turn the corner, and we'll carry on from that point. So I'm now approaching my first corner and pretty excited about it. This is the second last round that we have to do, and again it's still continuing to be double crochet in each of the double crochets, skipping over that chain 1 that is in the row below. So I'm looking for the corner, and the corner is pretty easy to tell because there's 3 double crochets that lead into the corner just like so, and there's a double crochet that chain 1 that separates them. So in the first one of that we're gonna just put in 2 as normal. So 1 and 2. So the middle one of the 3, that's the one that's gonna have 6. So you're gonna put 6 double crochets in there. So 1, 2 and 3, and just for your information, that third one is the one that kind of makes it go diagonal, so that's kind of like the halfway point when you look at it from this perspective, and then the other 3 are just a polishing off going around the corner. So this is number 4, 5 and 6. So that gives it that 90-degree turn that you need. See? Isn't that neat? So we're gonna skip to the next one. Okay, so this is the third one of the 3, and that one's just gonna have 2 in as normal. So what I want you to do is that I want you to continue to go around all the way back to the start, and I'll meet you back there. Remember, we have the final corner to do once we get back up there as well. So I'll see you back there in just a moment. As I come all the way around, this is where I've started, so now I'm just gonna finish off. So this is where I wove it in my last end, and I'm just gonna go right over top of it so that it gets stuck underneath, so I don't have to sew that in later. So when I go into the stitch, I just wanted to make sure that I go right in over top of it. So what we have here in the corners, just like before, there's 3. I just went into the one of them of the 3. The middle one of the 3 is again going to get 6, and I'm making sure I'm going right over top of that woven in end as well. So this is 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So 6 all into that one, and then I jump to the final one of the 3, and there's gonna be 2 in that one, and that brings me right back to the very start. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna join this to then the top of the beginning chain 3 that we had started with, and that concludes that round. So I'm just gonna weave fasten that off, weave in the ends, and we're gonna do the last round together. So now because I've went over this woven in, whatever else is sticking out, I can just cut it right down, and you will not even see it once I adjust it. And of course I can always clean that up better as well. So I'm just gonna weave in this end, and I'm gonna begin the final revolution for clue number 3, which is the conclusion of the afghan. Finally, we're ready for the third round, which is the conclusion of today's afghan. So everything is going to be done once you get this round done. So you're going to join exactly where you slip stitched before, and then you're going to chain up 1 and single crochet into the same one. The next one is going to be a front post and double crochet. That's what those symbols mean. And remember, the stitch key is available, and I also hand wrote it out here as well. So every other stitch basically is a front post double crochet. The next one is a single crochet. So you're going to look at it and see that there's 2 side by side. The first one will always be single crochet. The second one will always be the front post double crochet. It does a really nice 3-dimensional look. So when you're really going to look at these things, see there's 2. So the first one will be a single crochet, the second one will be a front post. So how we do the front post is that we come in from the side and then pop out through the side. You put your yarn through, and this makes this pop, and it has a really great texture. So let me show you how to do the final round of number 3. Still continuing to look at the front side here. So here's the back side. So this is the front when I go to flip it up, and I go to work all my way through it. So I'm just going to create a slip knot, and I'm going to begin. So I'm going to begin, and you're gonna see a corner. So you have your 6. You're gonna see there's 2 here, and then these 2 are where we started. So it's the first one of these 2 is where we started and stopped, if you remember. So that's the one I want to join to. So it's the first one of the 2, and I want to just affix it with a slip stitch, chain up 1 and single crochet into the same stitch. I want to make sure I go right up over top of this straggler as well. So just single crochet. So the second one of the 2 is always going to be a front post double crochet. So wrap that hook going in through the side of the stitch, okay, and then yarn over, pull through, and then pull through 2 and 2, and I'll show that again as well. So here's the next 2. The first one will always be single crochet. Go right up over top of that straggler to hide that, and then the next one of the 2 is a front post double crochet. So wrap the hook going in through the side, back out, yarn over, pull through 2 and 2. Do you get that? So the next one is of the 2, the first one is always going to be a single crochet, and the second one will always be a front post double crochet. So you're going to do that all the way around. There's nothing fancy to do on the corners. You're simply just going to do this all the way around. Everything is in groups of 2 as you work around. So remember, even the ones in the corner, there was 6, remember, so you have 2, 2 and 2. So do that all the way around, and I'll see you back here in just a moment. We'll conclude today's afghan off together. So I'm coming all the way back around, including the final corner. Remember, we're not doing anything special in corner. We're just continuing to do that same pattern of just single crochet and front post double crochet all the way around, and it's actually been pretty good. So I'm on the conclusion of this whole project. I'm really quite excited about it, to be honest with you. I love this afghan. It turned out really nice, and I think the different color options that people will come up with too will be amazing. So once you get back all the way around, your last one will be a front post double crochet if you're keeping balance, and then you're just going to join it to the top of the first single crochet that you started with. Now here's the thing, if you weave in your ends right now, you're gonna fall out. So you have to make sure that when you're going to conclude your final afghan here, we want to leave enough on here so that we can put it within a darning needle. So let me show you what I'm gonna do with that. So I'm gonna pull this through here first, and I'm gonna grab a darning needle that I have conveniently on the side here, and I'm gonna feed that through. So the secret to using the darning needle or any kind of fastening off techniques is that if you go in and out of a project 3 times, you can hide in the yarn and it will never fall out. So you're just gonna glide it in, goes in like butter. So you just go in and see, it's really not on the other side at all, and just kind of pull it through. When you go to pull it through, you don't want to be reefing on it too hard. You want it to keep its shape, so you just be snug about it, and then you're just gonna go back in the other direction in a different path though, because if you go in the exact same path, it'll come out. So going in the other direction for number 2, again, just kind of be snug about it, but not like you're tying down a boat, and then finally go back in the 3rd direction and come out. And what you can do at this point is that you can safely just trim it right down to the project, and you will never see where you stopped. Isn't that cool? So that's how you conclude today's afghan. Let's go back up. So that's how you conclude today's afghan.